All right, everybody, welcome back. Ethan here. It's been some time since I've done a video. I've been gone for some time, but I'm back at it now. I've got more book reviews coming. I'm very excited about what we've got in works, so I hope you enjoy. I hope you're ready to stick around and learn lots and review some books with me. So if you want to see any particular books, make sure you comment them below. Let me know what you want to see. Subscribe, follow along for the ride. I'm actually starting a book club on Discord, and I'll go ahead and leave the link to join in the bio, so that you can go ahead and join that in the description below. So go ahead and click that. Come join us, and we'll review lots of books together. We're gonna have a good time. So today's book is something that's actually a very good book. It's a spiritual book. I was very enjoying to read this. I'm excited to review it and talk about it and recommend it to you guys. So it's going to be The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And this is perhaps a book that you guys have heard of before because it's very popular, very renowned. So we're going to go ahead and break this down into a couple of parts, some key takeaways, and some discussion questions. I'm not going to answer these discussion questions. I'm just going to mention them. And we're going to leave them for the people who want to join the book club so that we can go ahead and talk about them there and kind of go further in depth into these books. So the discussion questions I'll start mentioning in the videos, but they're gonna be for the book club. So let's go ahead and start. So we've got 5 key takeaways today. The first one being that there is, well, before we start with that, let me go ahead and introduce you to Eckhart Tolle and The Power of Now. So Eckhart Tolle is a spiritual teacher, non-denominational. He's got a couple books wrote, I think 4 maybe, I'm not real sure, but The Power of Now being the most famous one. He's also got a book called Stillness Speaks and a book called Practicing the Power of Now. And all of these books are related to the same topic, which is the present moment and the power of the present moment. So The Power of Now is his most famous book, and really it's just about living in the moment and being here in the now, right now. So the first key takeaway is there is no such thing as the past or the future. They don't exist. They are simply constructs of the mind that humans create. See, we identify with the future to prepare ourselves for what's coming, and we remember the past as a teacher and a way of learning. But the reality is that neither of those things exist. The only thing that exists is the right now. So key takeaway 2 is that the mind is a powerful tool, but when you use the mind as a means of identity, or you begin to search for yourself in your mind, the mind becomes destructive, and it is the source of a lot of pain and anguish. That only happens when you search for yourself in the mind. You will not find yourself in the mind. The concept of identity is the concept of ego. Ego is identification of the mind. Key takeaway 3, I kind of just said it, is that the ego is identity of something. Key takeaway 4 is the present moment is all we ever have. That's the only thing that exists, is the right now and what's in front of you. Nothing else exists. And then key takeaway 5 is to die every moment and leave the past behind you. So I got a couple quotes I picked out. Really, I'm just going to kind of flip through here, and I've got these bent page corners to bookmark the pages that I thought were very insightful, offering a lot of perspective. So I'll kind of read some of my favorite quotes from the book, and we'll break down some of these key takeaways. So quote number 1 is, "Let me say it again. The present moment is all you ever have. There is never a time when your life is not this moment. Is this a fact?" And the author asks, he puts a question mark at the end, is this a fact? So every moment, every day, wherever we go, every hour, every minute, our life is always this moment. Life is nothing but a series of this moment. We're constantly going from moment to moment, but it's this moment always. As soon as we leave a moment, it becomes the past, and the future is yet to happen. So it's a series of this moment over and over again. Quote 2 is, "So do not be concerned with the fruit of your action. Just give attention to the action itself. The fruit will come of its own accord." So don't let the fruits of your labors be the focus, because by doing so, you'll be focused on the future. You should be focused on the action that you're performing itself. That'll allow you to perform the action better, and the fruits will come on their own accord. As he said, the fruits, they're a byproduct. You'll reap what you sow. And by focusing on your sowing, you will sow better, and therefore you will reap better. Quote 3 is, "Are you so busy getting to the future that the present is reduced to a means of getting there? Stress is caused by being here when wanting to be there, or being in the present but wanting to be in the future." So in this part of the book, the author is saying, don't allow your life to become this rat race where you're constantly in the moment, but really you're focused on getting to the next moment, because you're never truly happy with where you're wanting to be. If you adopt that mindset, you never will be happy where you are, because you're going to be constantly focusing on getting where you want to go. Even when you get where you want to go, there will be another thing or something that'll draw your attention to it, and you'll still be stuck in wanting to get there. Don't let your life become this let's get to the future mindset. Focus on the now. Be in the present and enjoy the present, and allow the present to bring to you everything, because your life will always be this moment. Quote 4 is, "Die to the past every moment. You don't need it. Only refer to it when it is absolutely relevant to the present. Feel the power of this moment and the fullness of being. Feel your presence." So dying to the past every moment, because every moment the past leaves us and it is gone. The start of this video is gone. It is in the past. So every moment you die, and you die to the past. What he means by that is letting go of what's happened. Allow it to disappear, allow it to go away. Be born anew every moment, and be ready for what's coming. Be in this moment, and allow the past to fade away. And quote 5 is, "You see time as the means to salvation, whereas in truth it is the greatest obstacle to salvation. You get there by realizing that you are already there." So, kind of the same thing we've been saying, that what he's saying is time doesn't exist, and you see time as, things heal over time, and time will bring you what it is that you want. But that's not true. You have to realize that now is the only moment you'll have, and once you realize that, you will already have salvation. That is when you are aware that you've always had it. You've always had salvation. The key to happiness isn't getting somewhere or going somewhere. It's realizing that you can already be happy. That it's in this moment where it lies the key to happiness, or the key to salvation. It's always with you, and it always has been, because your life is never more than this moment. So I got a couple pros. We'll break down the pros and cons. We'll talk about the overall assessment. The pros, it's well wrote. It was easy to read. It was a lot of fun to read. I found myself not wanting to put it down, and really it's a small book. I found myself wanting more. There's great advice. I found myself on many pages really enjoying the advice, having deep breaths, feeling myself come to peace, and appreciating the moment with every page. Really, this book was fantastic, and was a lot of mental clarity. Easy to read. There's not much fluff. Like I said, the book's pretty thin. There's not a lot of fluff in there. I wanted more. And fluff, fluff is always a distraction. Sometimes it can be enjoyable, perhaps in fiction, but, sometimes fluff just bogs down the real lessons of the books that you're trying to get from them. And then it's also relatable. The author does a great job at relating to the reader. Very, very enjoyable read. You know, you never feel like that this guy has something that you don't, or that he's pulling all this advice out of his butt. It was all very good, very well wrote. For the cons, I literally wrote none. I don't think there's anything about this book that I didn't like. If I really had to pick some criticism, I don't think I could find it, because there was nothing about this, you know. It was great. The whole thing was great. I liked all of it. And with that, the overall assessment is a 7 out of 7. I loved this book. It was awesome. It's one of my favorites now. I recommend it to a lot of people. When they ask me what my favorite book is, I say The Power of Now, because it was awesome. It was a fantastic read. It's only, let's see. It's only 230 pages, so not very long, you know. It took about a week and a half, 10 days or so for me to read this. Great advice in here. One of the other concepts he talks about is, you know, if you ever find yourself not being able to relate to somebody, he talks about compassion. If you ever find yourself not being able to relate to somebody, at least have the compassion to realize that maybe in 2 years and maybe in 70 years, none of it's going to matter, because you're both going to be a corpse, and then you're both going to be a pile of dust, and then you're both going to be nothing. You have that same sense of mortality with every living thing on this planet. So if you ever find yourself not being able to relate with somebody, you can at least relate with that you're both going to fade into nothing, and that you both came from nothing. So that's The Power of Now. It was awesome. 10 out of 10, 7 out of 7. So I enjoyed it. Get yourself a copy, read it, become wise, become enlightened. Yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz. Check out the Discord link, join the book club. We'll be doing these. I read a lot. We're going to be reading a lot. We're going to be talking about a lot of books. We're going to be going over the discussion questions, which I will, I'll give them to you right now. So the discussion questions are: what is the root of unconsciousness? How do you end the delusion of time? How can you solve all of your problems with presence? What is the greatest obstacle to salvation? Why should one offer no resistance and allow all things to pass through them? All right, so those are my discussion questions. So yeah, with each book, I'll be doing a couple of discussion questions for the book club, and we'll go over them and talk about them, and we'll discuss them in depth, and we'll learn together, and we'll see with the power of joining minds and sitting and talking and discussing, we'll get better ideas to flow. We'll unlock new wisdom. We'll help each other get past those barricades that often come with self-help books and nonfiction and stuff like that, or philosophy, psychology, whatever it be. By talking to each other, we can get past those barricades and learn together. And I ultimately think that's going to make better videos for you guys, for me to make better videos and something like that. So cool. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.